Okay, just really quickly, this shows you some of the other things that you can do with the Silhouette Cameo. I'm going to demonstrate how you can make um, a real simple Polaroid that's really trendy in scrapbooking right now, like the one right here. And I type the word friends in it, and it'll cut that out. And I'm not going to make them in these colors. I just put the colors inside of them just so that you could see what they would look like when they are cut out. Here I was able to take the year 2012 and welded the numbers together and then just welded it onto the side of the frame so that it can be on there. And then the month of July, I just welded it to the top of the frame here. So as you can see, I can cut these files out of any cardstock that I want and layer it. These squares are 4x4 because they are going into my We Are Memory Keepers sleeve protectors that I have. I'm trying to finish up this 2012 album so that I can start Project 365 for 2013. So anyway, let me show you how I did this. So we'll open a new file here. And when I initially make my squares or rectangles, I like to go ahead and snap to grid. So the snap to grid is turned on, and I'll go for the rectangle and say I'll start right here, and I want to make a 4" by 4" square. So there is that one. Then I will offset this square with the offset tool, and we're going to do an internal offset. That way it goes on the inside because we don't want to go larger than 4 inches. So I'm going to do an internal offset, and I prefer to do about 0.25. Okay, so right after I do this, I like to move my files and kind of see or zoom in and see what's going on, because every now and then somehow I manage to do a double somehow. So I'm going to delete my double out of there. There we go. And zoom out. Okay. So now here's my 4x4 square. And right now I'm going to select the inside square, hold the Shift key, and click the outside square. Then right-click, make compound path. What that does is it makes sure that this whole piece, both of those, are now one piece that move together, but also when they cut, it's going to make sure to cut out this blank spot here in the middle so that we don't have a big white space in the middle. Okay, so that's the general framework. Now, if you wanted to add a month, for example, I'm going to add the month of August. I'll go to the text and I'll type August. I'm going to do it in all caps. Now I want it to be able to fit, but I also want a better font. This font is a little too plain for me. So let me try to select the font itself. There we go. Okay, so I like that one there, but it's still a little big. So what we can do is we can move it onto the inside here. If you use this little piece, it tends to want to make it wrap around your frame, which can work in other instances pretty neat, but I'm not trying to do that in this one. So I'm probably going to need to make it smaller first. So let me go ahead and click on it and just start scaling it down. I also need to make sure I take the grid snap off when I'm working in this mode, because I want to center it without it necessarily latching onto a grid. Okay, so when I work with words like this one, for this one I want to be on the bottom. And when you're welding the words, you just want to make sure that they barely touch the bottom of the area where you want to weld it to, because you want the dimension of your letters to still really stand out. You don't want to lose the shape. So I'm going to click on the words again, and we need to make those a compound path all together so they're all one unit. Then we select the square and the words all together and click the weld button. And there you have it. So here you can see this will all be cut out as a shape. To let you see it better, let me click on the colors, and let's go ahead and make this, fill this with red. And there you can see it. So that's how you make a simple frame to attach welded letters to it. Now, another really popular frame style right now is the Polaroids. So again, the Polaroids are usually squares. So let's go ahead and make a 4-inch square here. I should have turned my grid on. 1 second. Let me do that again. Let me turn my snap to grid back on. Okay, there we go. Okay. So there's our 4-inch frame right here. I'll go ahead and move that up a little bit. Now, the inside one, I'm going to turn snap to grid off because this one is not going to be a perfect square. This one, we're going to offset it on the inside. Let's do this. Let's go to offset, internal offset. And from here, we can shrink this one. I'm going to shrink it to that side, shrink it there, and shrink it there. And I want a little bit more space on the bottom. Okay, so you can see here I have my 2 frames. Let me turn my grid off so you can see it a little bit better. So now you can see I have my 2 frames here, and now I want to type a word in here. Now my other one said friends, so how about this one? We'll put the word hello. That seems to be a popular phrase in a lot of these right now. So H-E, we'll do them all caps. Okay, so we'll move this one. Sometimes I have a hard time grabbing for some reason. I don't know why. There we go. Okay, so that says hello. And we're going to make that a compound path. And then we're going to select this, click the Shift key, select the outer one as well, and make compound path. Just to make sure, I'm going to select everything, make compound path. So now if I select this and I click fill, that's what it'll look like when I cut it out. So that's how you can also make your own Polaroids in the Silhouette software and cut them out. So I'm going to cut a few of these out and hopefully show you them on my layout here in one moment. Thanks for watching. Okay, so this is what they look like when they're cut out on the Silhouette mat. You can see how it nicely welded those letters together. And so that's the negative, and here it is on my layout. So this actually isn't going to be my main page. This is actually a secondary page, so that's why these are subtle. So that says 2012,
and then that says July. So I cut it out, and then I dropped the frame a little bit lower right here to overlap on top of the photo. And so that's how it will look. So that's how you can make your frames, your own frames in the Silhouette. And you can make those rectangles or squares, any size you want, and you can weld all kinds of letters and titles into them. If you want it to stand out more, you can choose like a plain background and then a darker frame for your colors. So anyway, this is my first start at the style of Project Life, and I think I'll just do another little video on this particular binder that I have. But for this, I just wanted to show in particular, it welds the letters and it cuts them out all together very nicely on the Silhouette, and gives you a nice variety of options that you can do by cutting out on your Silhouette. Thanks for watching.